Of course, we had a meeting in December, which was all the neighbors of Afghanistan were there to agree on non-intervention in Afghanistan. Pakistan, Iran, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, China, because we have a small border with China. As you see in this small map I have distributed. So this agreement is very important because everybody knows to try in Afghanistan to have a special influence is more dangerous, more harmful to the author of the influence, to the one who is provoking the influence. This has been the experience of not only the Soviet Union, but also Pakistan, in some way Iran, and therefore there is a great understanding that the best way is to leave Afghanistan being free of its destiny and to leave the Afghans to deal with the Afghans. And I think this is a great conclusion of the history of 20th century and the beginning, or the turn of century, beginning of the 21st. Now, Afghanistan is, of course, so many difficulties in the economic ground because everything has been destroyed. Everything, including the roads, any airport, small or big, bridges, and destruction of government building because of all the armed conflict which happened, and so many people were fighting the others, and we had many, we had so many manipulation from foreign, coming from foreign land, cross-border manipulation. So the result is that Afghanistan needs to have the first, if the first requirement is security, the second must be reconstruction. Reconstruction in all fields, because the Taliban, for 6 years, they closed all school for girls. Women were not allowed, not only to work, but to go to school, to go to any kind of school. Little girls were not going to school. Those women who were teachers in little boys' school, they were not allowed to work. So that school of little boys had no teacher also. This was the great tragedy for Afghanistan. And you cannot imagine in 5 or 6 years how much harms it make, because this changes the course of education in a country. And we had this trouble, unfortunately. Today, it is quite different. People have all the difficulties, economic difficulties, but they can go to school. They can also speak. There is in Afghanistan all kind of freedom of press. There is, and I assure you that There is also freedom of press in Pakistan, but in Afghanistan also. And in Afghanistan, there is possibility of expression of views which may not please to Mr. Karzai. This possibility exists. But still, we find that the bulk of the political elements in Afghanistan, of all ethnic groups, they consider that Mr. Karzai, who is a Pashtun, very moderate and very thoughtful about the diversity of the ethnic groups in Afghanistan, is one of the good leaders, especially because he is not, he doesn't like to impose by force any kind of principle. And this has been known. And he has this reputation. Of course, when you have that reputation, it may be a little dangerous because people will use this possibility of a government which is not strong for their purposes. But there is also those who in Afghanistan who are very firmly decided for the progress of the country, for the what is called the rebirth of the country. And now we will have the roads which are to be built, because Afghanistan had a circular network of roads, and this has been destroyed. So nothing has been done last year, but from next March there will be spring, and this construction of roads will start, and I'm sure that in a few months many major roads will be ready for the economy of the infrastructure of the country economy. Now, I would like also to tell you that there is political activity in Afghanistan, because in June 2004, elections are taking place. A new constitution has to be adopted, and this will be the final phase of the Bonn Agreement, because the Bonn Agreement is still the line of the action of the Afghans, and they are almost 90% it has been followed. And there are problems, because some people now already are asking for federalist government, but others are believe that Afghanistan is too small for being federal. Afghanistan has the Sunnis, the Shias, also a special group of the Shia, which is called the Ismailis, which are the followers of Aga Khan. They are also a small number in Afghanistan. And languages are so, there are two main languages, Persian and Pashto, but there are also some other languages, especially language like Uzbek and the Baluchi, because Hazaras, they speak Persian already there. If you count by the number of the speakers of the language, the Persian